so Peter, this is going to be your kind of cool down or stretch videos. This is the stretches that I recommend you do. Again, a lot of these we've already done. It's nothing necessarily new. I want to show you two variations you can do though of one of the stretches. So the first thing what we'll do is we'll just have you start off with a TRX lat stretch. And again, you don't have to use the TRX for this. You can use a door frame. Really anything that kind of allows you to get into position. But what we're going to do is just like this. We'll sit the hips back and just imagine literally as if you were kind of stretching from a pole, right? Again, just hanging from a pole. What you can also do is put even just a little bit of a tuck in the pelvis, and what that'll do is it'll help stretch the lats a little bit. So, and play with both, right? You can go kind of neutral spine, flat back, and then again, you can tuck the pelvis a little bit. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm putting a little bit of a tuck in the pelvis, just kind of rounding that upper, the pelvis a little bit, rounding the lower back a little bit, and then it just kind of helps encourage the stretching of the lats too. You can also kind of play with the range of motion. You can come up a little bit, and just change the direction that this is pulling on those lats. You can also rotate a little bit, kind of lean into it on one side. You can rotate, shift a little over to the side, and do the same thing on the other side. Just kind of play around with just opening up those shoulders. Again, the big thing when it comes to stretching is come into a position and focus on your breathing, those nice deep breaths. You never want to grunt, strain, or force a stretch. You always want to move into a position that maybe is a little uncomfortable, but never at all painful, and then breathe and try to get the body to relax. Peter, the next stretch that we're going to do is we're going to do your pec stretch. And we use the doorway with this, and you can use the doorway or you can use the TRX. And I'll show you both. Just as a reminder, the doorway variation, I'll use the rack here. The doorway variation is where you put your palm, specifically really the pinky side of the palm, on either side of the frame, right, either upright, and your elbows drop a little bit below your shoulders, kind of like what we did in your warm-up with the prone W. Then you're going to step forward through the door frame. You're going to put a slight tuck in the pelvis. Shoulders go back and down. Again, slight tuck in the pelvis. And you're just going to gently lean into it. Just be easy with this here. And just focus on your breath. Move into a position that's a little uncomfortable, but never at all painful. And then focus on your breathing. Exhale fully. Allow for a nice full inhalation. Exhale in fully. Allow for that nice full inhalation. Again, at least 3 to 5 nice deep breaths in each position. Now, the way you can use you can do the same thing with the TRX, and the way that we would do this is we would do I'll show you, see if I can find this appropriate position with the TRX, so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to walk forward, and I almost imagine like you're doing an iron cross in gymnastics, right? So the arms are going to go out, you're going to make this cross shape. Again, same thing, just like in the door frame, you're going to take a staggered stance. We're going to put a tuck in the pelvis, right? We're going to pack those shoulders back and down. So again, pelvis tuck, shoulders back and down. And then you're just going to lean forward into it. Again, same thing. Just focus on your breathing. Exhaling fully. Allow for a nice full inhalation with your body. Exhaling fully. Allow for that nice full inhalation. And allowing for a little bit of external rotation at that shoulder joint. I'm not sure if you can see exactly what I'm doing. You can also play with, again, kind of going into this position and doing the same thing. Right? This is a little bit more like that doorway pec stretch. You can play with both and just see what feels, you can do them both. Again, see what feels best for you. Again, 3 to 5 nice deep breaths. Peter, from there, what we're going to do is we're going to do your door frame hamstring stretch. And this is this guy. Let me set this up. And so, this is, again, if you got one leg through the door frame, right? Leg through the door frame, one leg up on the door frame. Again, you remember this guy. Again, I put something underneath your head just so you can fully relax. Again, the key about stretching, especially passive or restorative stretches like this, is you're just coming into that position, maybe a little uncomfortable, but never painful. And you're just letting gravity take control and letting your breath do the work. Exhaling fully. Just allowing for a nice full inhalation to fill the body. Exhaling fully, allowing for that nice full inhalation to fill the body. Peter, after we'll do both sides there, and then what we'll do is we'll just scooch it back, and we'll go into that glute stretch. So again, the way I like to do this is grab the ankle, grab the knee, Think about the ankle coming gently down the thigh. Think about the knee coming in towards the center of the body or the sternum. Once you kind of find the position, you can feel that stretching the outside of the hip, right? We'll lift that foot just that little bit. And again, breathe. Focus on that breath. One of the things you can play with here is you can use that door frame. You can scoot back a little bit, use that door frame for a little bit of support too, to kind of get a little deeper into that stretch if you want. It can also help you relax a little bit. Notice you don't want to be really what I'm doing here. You want to make sure that low back is actually on the floor. You don't want this to be too intense. Meaning you don't want that, you don't want that up. You want low back on the floor, nice neutral position, so you can really, you're stretching out that head. Right, that fluid. All right, man, from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a rotational stretch. So we got your lat stretch, your pec stretch, your hamstring and your glute. And then the last one I'd like to have you do is a rotational stretch. And this is just this guy. This is where we'll hug the knees in, right? You want knees above the hips. We'll roll to your side, right? So again, my knees are above the hips. I'm putting a slight tuck in my pelvis and my low back. Something underneath your head would be ideal to keep your spine neutral. And then from here, we're just gonna rotate and reach back. Again, this may be too much on that shoulder, and if that's the case, there's a couple of things you can do. Number one, you can just bring your arm, and almost imagine like you're putting your hand in your back pocket, or the back of your hand against your lower back, and just letting yourself rotate. Because this is less about the shoulder and more about this thoracic rotation. Another thing you can do is you can grab the rib and you can rotate. I like this though a little bit better. Back of the hand to the small of the back, and just think about this whole chest and shoulder folding open. Exhale fully, allow for a nice full inhalation. A progression here would be taking that hand and bringing it to the back of your head. And again, just letting the elbow, upper arm, and pec just kind of fall open. Exhaling fully. And once that feels really, really great, you can extend that arm. But again, this is less about the shoulder and more about the rotation of the thoracic spine. Just breathing in here. Again, at least 3 to 5 nice deep breaths in each position. When you come out of it, I would go come into this position first, and then get out of it. All right, Peter, I hope this is helpful. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, and we'll do I'll send you your two straight videos as well. All right, see you soon.